Alright guys, I know I promised it like a year ago, but I finally have time to sit down and do a uppers buyer's guide for the evil AR-15 assault weapon. Not my terminology, it's just a plain old rifle in my opinion. But right here you'll see 4 uppers. I was trying to borrow a couple more so I could show you some other types, but I think we can get the point across with what we have here. The first question I'll address is a lot of people say, well, what's the difference between an A1, an A2, an A3, and an A4 upper? Well, just think of how they progress through time. A1, the first variant, the closest representation I have of that is this is actually a flat top receiver. As you can see, removable carry handle. But let's just make believe that all this is attached. It's all one piece. It has the non-detachable carry handle. What an A1 means is fixed front sight post and fixed carry handle with only windage adjustment. You did not have your elevation adjustment here. You did all your elevation with the front sight. And I hit the tripod, of course. Very thing I'm trying not to do. So, an A1 upper, fixed front sight, non-detachable carry handle, permanently fixed carry handle with windage only adjustments on the rear sight. So, that knocks out number 1. Everybody then says, well, what's an A2? Well, A2 was the next version. Fixed front sight, non-detachable carry handle with windage and elevation adjustment on the rear. So that was, game changing there, where you could actually correct elevation to shoot at different ranges in the middle of a gunfight, basically, once you learn how to do that. So A1 and A2 denotes non-detachable carry handle. It's permanently affixed. A1 windage only, A2 windage and elevation adjustment on the rear sight. Both still have the fixed front sight. And then we get to everybody's lovable favorite. When you get into the M4 carbines and stuff like that, you start seeing A3s, which an A3 is what's represented here. Sorry for the squeaky share. Fixed front sight, flat top with the Picatinny rail. There's actually a couple different ways that'll come, but most of them are fixed front sight, Picatinny rail, flat top receiver, and then here you'll see a Magpul backup iron sight there installed to give a backup sight there. Well, A1, A2, A3, what's A4? Well, this one is technically an example of an A4 because as you see here, both of these sights are folding sights. It's complete flat top, and see there is a railed handguard installed on this upper. But this particular one utilizes a railed gas block, which is how I have the front sight attached, and then the railed receiver for the rear sight. So an A4 means there's no sights from the factory. You have to install them all yourself. And as another pretty cool little example of an A4, this little pistol upper, pistol or short-barreled rifle. Keep in mind, with the 7-inch barrel length, federal law says that this can either be installed on the AR-15 pistol or a registered short-barreled rifle. Technically, within the letter of the law, if you own this and you do not own a pistol lower or a registered short-barreled rifle lower, you are already committing crimes. So buy one of these only if you want a pistol, have a pistol, or a registered short-barreled rifle, or you could find yourself in trouble. But man, they are fun, let me tell you. Very small, lightweight, and all the perks there. I always know that. The next thing, basically all these uppers are across the board are anodized, Cerakote. There's a ton of different finishes, but most of them are anodized like this, which is what gives that dull black finish. Barrel length, you really want to decide that based on what you're going to use to I hate to say weapon, but the firearm for. 7-inch concealed carry and a pistol. Yeehaw. I have a 16-inch gun here, and this one's technically an 18-inch gun, so you get into those two. A little different range options, and then here's one of my more favorites. If you're wanting to use a suppressor, this may not be the way to go, but if you'd like to have one that's small, lightweight, and all that, 14.5 with an 1.5 inch flash hider to put us out to 16 inches there to make it legal. So a way to get small and lightweight without going to the pistol or the short-barreled rifle package and all that headache. This rifle, fully assembled, weighs about a half a pound less than my next lightest rifle. So nice advantage there. So barrel length depends on what you're wanting to do. CQB or short range or a little blast or something fun to play with, or long range shooting or something that can kind of do both. Make your decision there. From there, there's a whole fairy list of different barrel materials. The most popular and most, in my opinion, my favorite. I'm not a huge fan of stainless steel barrels. They do provide accuracy and all that, but for me, I like just the regular old chrome molybdenum barrel steel, and you can literally talk about barrels all day long. I'm not going to. They bore the heck out of me. Chrome molybdenum, chrome lined. That's what I want. 1 in 7 twist here, 1 in 9, and then a 1 in 9 or 1 in 7 here also. What that means is for every 1 inch of for every 7, 8, or 9 inches, the most common ones are 1 in 7, 1 in 8, 1 in 9. For like, you know, these three, 1 in 7 means for every 7 inches of barrel, the projectile makes a complete turn. The rifling makes a complete turn. So that allows you to shoot the heavier bullets. 1 in 9, sometimes you'll have them where they'll shoot those 68, 72, 75, 78 grain bullets, but a lot of times they'll keyhole. The bullets won't stabilize. They'll actually come out of the end of the muzzle and start tumbling. They'll actually flip end over end. So if you want to shoot heavier bullets, the quicker barrel twist will do that for you, the 1 in 7. If you have a 1 in 8 and 1 in 9 gun, there's nothing wrong with that. You can shoot military surplus 62 grain, the everyday bomb off the box 55 grain stuff, or 50 grain or whatever. You shoot it all day long and never see the first problem out of it. The only time it's really going to matter, I don't see a huge improvement in accuracy per se in shooting them, but like I said, if you want to shoot those heavy bullets, which I kind of like to carry those 75 grain 5.56 loaded cartridges, just because it's kind of a freight drain for 5.56. But enough about that. Muzzle devices, something else to take note of. I have an A2 on this bottom one, an A2 on the top one, and then this one here, the A3 upper, has an elongated A2 that gets that 16 inch, and then here I have a Phantom, Yankee Hill Phantom flash suppressor, closed on the bottom. That's something that's important to me. But reason being is if you ever shoot prone or kneeling in dry dirt or whatever, you fire the gun, the gases are coming out the end of the barrel at a high speed, it creates a dust cloud. So I like to have the bottom of the flash suppressors closed up. I have a couple other ones. If I'd have been smart, I'd have dug them out, but I had to find them in one of the random boxes kind of thing. But the flash hider don't make that big of a difference to me. I've shot the Michelet style brakes, the Levain style brakes. I like those pretty well, but not enough to spend money on those. If you've already dumped money in all the performance areas of the rifle and you just want to spend some money, by all means, spend $100, $200 on a muzzle device. For me, not for me, no big deal. I've shot just about every one of them out there, and the old A2 works just fine for me. And speaking of that, A2 flash hider on this little 7-inch gun, gives you a muzzle flash about this big. I believe Big Daddy Hoffman has a video of me shooting that. That catches the muzzle flash fairly well. You ought to head over to his channel and check that out, and subscribe to him if you haven't already. Another thing that you're starting to see a lot of the DPMS Sporticals and a couple other ones come out now that are missing. Smith & Wesson actually has one out that's missing the Dutch cover, which the Dutch cover is a little trap door that closes up, and then the first time you fire the gun, the bolt carrier rubs against it and pops it open so the empty casing can come out. It's also missing the forward assist, and what that does is, I happen to have a couple laying here. Bolt carrier groups, there's some small teeth that run along the side of it, and the bane of the M16 or AR-15 or M4 or whatever you want to talk about is the fact that the charging handle, the little lever we pull on top to the chamber of the gun, is not attached physically to the bolt carrier. So if you have a failure, there's no way to shove it in the battery. So they created the forward assist, and it's basically a metal rod that you shove with the palm of your hand, and it shoves it against these teeth and shoves it forward in the battery so it'll fire. That's what really made the guns a lot more reliable Vietnam era and stuff like that. Used to be if you drop these things in the mud, they got dirty, you had to take them apart while you were getting shot at and basically clean it in the middle of the field and then put it back to work. This was a way to maybe force it back into work for a few more shots. And all these uppers you see here, dust covers and forward assist. Typical sporting rifle, not that big of a deal, but for me, it's not like it costs any more, so I'll take it. You know, there's Stag Arms, Rock River Arms, and I think one or two other companies that make left ejection ARs for those left-handed people, where actually the ejection port's on the left side of the gun and the brass comes out the left side. In my opinion, suck it up. Everybody else shoots a right-handed rifle, you'll be okay. And of course, you know, right here, the big perks versus A1, A2 versus the flat top receivers is if you want to drop an optic on it, you just pick one up, throw it on there, latch it down, bore side it, zero it, and you're good to go. A1 or A2, you have to mount it on top of the carry handle. So a little bit of a pain to get up there and see that. There are also different gas system lengths. Of course, you have a pistol length gas system, mainly seen in 7-inch barrels, which is what this is. And all three of these are mid-length gas systems. That's something I really like. I was trying to borrow a carbine. I ideally borrow a carbine A2, but I could not get my hands on one. So we'll talk about the difference. We have a mid-length gas system, and then you have a carbine length gas system, which is about 3 inches shorter. So the front sight would physically be moved back about 3 inches, and then the handguard would stop about, instead of extending all the way forward like it does, the handguard would stop about here. And then you'd have a much shorter handguard, which is what you see in all the M4s and stuff like that. For me, I like the mid-length gas system. I guess I've not seen scientific proof, but from what I've learned about them, the little bit longer gas system allows the gases that are coming back to operate your bolt carrier inside the upper. And all three of these are direct gas impingement, not gas piston. I may make another video about that someday. But the gases that are traveling back through this gas tube, since it has that, you know, couple inches longer to go, it actually slows down a bit, so it's not nearly as volatile operating the gun. Typically, you get a little slower cyclic rates, but if you're not shooting full auto, who cares? You know, no big deal there. Trust me, they will put them downrange. And then you also have rifle length, which is typically seen on the 20-inch barrel guns, to where the gas system actually extends all the way out past the front sight here, and gives you a much longer sight radius. You know, reference M16 or something like that for that. I really think I'm running out of stuff to talk about. Of course, they're all plug and play. You got this one has a free float, just aluminum handguard. This one has the Magpul MOE handguards on them. I really like these for the money. This one has a set of Midwest Industries rail system, quad rail 2-piece handguard, and then this one has just regular old handguards on it. You know, handguards, pick what you may. I can't cover everything on that. I'd be happy to answer questions. My favorites, I like the Midwest, they're okay. Yankee Hill, Daniel Defense, Troy Industries, all awesome. Tippy top of the food chain. Run that kind of money too. The Magpul, if you're on a budget, like 40, 45 bucks or so, I believe, and I think I'm guessing high. And there's a million different accessories you can use with those, like the sling attachment points here, or actually on this side they have short rail systems. I usually have a flashlight there, or, you know, vertical foregrips or whatever. For the money, you can't beat Magpul stuff. And by the way, let me tell you, I've never been so proud of a company in my life. I hope they leave Colorado. Thank you guys. I appreciate that. Standing up for the American people, whether you have to invest money to leave that state or whatever. No big deal. But I think I've pretty well answered most of the questions you might would have. As always, if you have more, you can comment down below, or preferably hit my Facebook page. There should be a link down below. Give that a like, leave it on my wall, or send me a message. I usually get quicker responses that way. And like, favorite, subscribe. I appreciate you watching my videos as always. I know they're long, boring, and stupid, but in my opinion, but hopefully answer some questions. And thank you for watching.